What up, everybody? It's your man back in the building, the Happy Hatter, aka Gypsy Hustle, aka Mr. Make You Smile, aka none other than your man Chucky B. What's happening? Hey, I'm back. The Happy Hatter, new hat, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's getting cold outside, so that's why I threw this one on today. But things are going good. Shout outs to everybody watching, my NC State crew, my man Sugar Reg, everybody watching, all right? My West Johnson crew, too. So fellas been playing hard. We're 5-11 now. We were 2-23 last year. So as long as we keep working hard, got to keep working hard, good things can happen. Good things can still happen, all right? So let's start it off. I know some of these things gonna be old, and you probably already heard them, but I ain't get a chance to say how I felt about them. All right. So now, John Beilein. If you don't know who John Beilein is, he's the head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers. So I guess they were in a film session, and John Beilein said something like along the lines of, "You're moving like a bunch of thugs out there," or something like that. So I guess people took offense to it. It got to the media. My personal opinion is, look, I'll be the first one to defend the players. You know what I'm saying? When right. I mean, I don't think he said all that wrong. I can tell you stories of what coaches have said to me. I've never taken it personal. And we're just getting too sensitive now. We're just getting too sensitive trying to pick anything to try to make a big deal out of. So what if he said you moving like a thug? Some of these dudes call themselves thugs anyway. So I don't think it should have been a big deal. John Beilein had to come out and explain himself and all that. I mean, I think it's ridiculous. John Beilein has been coaching a long time. And not saying that there aren't some coaches that maybe look at a black player a certain way. I mean, and I'm not here to defend him. I'm just saying, we've gotten way too sensitive about things that we say. Even like myself coaching high school. I coach high school now, if you didn't know. And this whole thing with the shaking hands after the game, I'm not feeling it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really feeling the shaking the hands after the game thing, because we were just in an intense battle, right? And I lost or I won or whatever. I mean, I need to get to the locker room, shower, change, whatever it is. And then by the time I'm done, my coach gets done talking, I get dressed. When I'm walking out, I'm going to probably see you. I can shake hands and say, "Yo, man, good game then." But right after the game, I don't really like that. So I think it's, I like sportsmanship and all that, good sportsmanship and all that, but come on. This crucifying John Beilein about this, I mean, it's gone away now, but still, he shouldn't have had to explain himself. And some stuff should stay in the locker room. Some stuff is meant for the locker room to stay in the locker room. And I want to know who leaked that. Really, who leaked it? Now as a coach behind closed doors, you got to be careful of what you say with your team. You should be able to say whatever you want to say. The locker room is a special place. A lot of people don't get to experience a locker room. A locker room is a fun place. All right, so I know with my team, I say what I want to say. And if they want to leak it out, go ahead and leak it out. I'm still going to be who I am. You know what I'm saying? So I just think the whole John Beilein thing was a bunch of BS, really. Next thing. David Stern died a couple weeks ago, and it was tough to hear that, because I know a lot of people may not have liked Stern, but all of my communication or interaction with David Stern was positive, and I could tell you, we were over in London one time. I was playing with the Rockets, and I'm sitting to a table, talking to Oscar Robertson. So, that in itself is like, oh man, I'm sitting here talking to Oscar Robertson. So David Stern comes and sits down to the table, and I'm like, David Stern is sitting at my table. So I'm, as a young kid, you see these commissioners on TV. I saw David Stern, with Patrick Ewing and all, so you never think you're going to, and I've been in the league 6 or 7 years and had never really come across him. You know what I'm saying? Had never really come across him in person. So we're over in London, and he comes to the table and sits down, and he goes. He says he speaks to Oscar, and he says, "Hey Chucky, how you doing?" I was like, he knows my name. So hey, but I didn't, get inside. I was like, holy snap, what the. But I just was like, hey, Commissioner Stern, how you doing, man? What's going on? Like I wasn't surprised, but I was very surprised. And then, I talked to a couple of friends of mine that work in the NBA office, and I was like, yo, David Stern called my name. He said my name. That was kind of cool. He was like, hey, listen, said David Stern, when he comes into the NBA office or when he was coming into, whenever he came in, he would address everyone by name. And I just thought that was amazing that he, would address everybody by name, because I know I remember faces well. I'm not a guy that remembers your name. I might not remember a name, but I remember faces. And for him to be able to remember everyone's name and address them by name is pretty extraordinary. So, God bless his family. He was the commissioner that took the NBA, expanded the NBA to different levels, overseas, and he's the one that took it there. He's the one that took it when the NBA. A lot of people don't remember the NBA used to be played. Games used to be played and used to be on tape delay. I remember as a kid, it was the 1980-81 finals. It was the Sixers and the Lakers. The game was played the night before. It was going to be tape delayed the next day. So we already knew the scores of the game. We already knew who won, but we just didn't see it. So Commissioner Stern was one of those, or was the guy that got the games televised live and got the deals going. So he will be missed. I think, the new commissioner, Adam Silver, I think, he was under him for a while, so he should have learned a lot from him. But Commissioner Stern, he'll be missed. And like I said, God bless his family. And, the NBA is lucky to have had him. All right, next thing. All right, so now Astros have won a World Series. The manager just got fired. I forgot the manager's name. Joey Cora went off to the Red Sox. I think he got fired too. And Carlos Beltran, went to the Mets. I think he's also gotten fired. Now, this has happened because the Astros have been accused of stealing signs, which I have mixed feelings about that one, though, because, if they're giving signs, so it shouldn't be any electronic. They were electronically stealing them, which is wrong. Okay, that's wrong. But if they're stealing signs, like say if the guy's on second base and he could see the sign and be like, tell the guy to lay off the pitch, I got no problem with that. But but they were stealing signs electronically, so I think they should be punished. And I'm a Houston Astros guy. I like the Astros. I spent time in Houston. Actually spent time with Jeff Bagwell a little bit back in the day, a while ago. But I remember when there was a strike and the Astros, they were playing in the Astrodome at the time when I was in Houston. And the tickets were $5 because they just got off a strike. So tickets were $5 to the game. So they were trying to get people back in the game. So I remember sitting right behind first base, got me a $5 ticket, go to the game, had a great time. But anyway, back to the subject. They should be punished for that if they were stealing signs electronically. But should they be forced to give up that World Series title? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know how I feel about that one. I've heard some people say they should be forced to give up that World Series title. But I don't know how I feel about that. But we'll see. We'll see. That's interesting. So, all right. Next thing. Okay, the Cowboys finally got rid of Jason Garrett, right? I'm a Giants fan, so I wanted the Cowboys to keep him. I'll be honest with you. Jason Garrett's gone. He'll find another job. The Cowboys are mediocre. They hired a guy from Green Bay. I can't remember his name right now, but Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy. They hired Mike McCarthy, which I think is a great hire. I think whenever you hire these older guys that, or not older, but guys that have coached before, and they've gotten fired from a good organization, and they've had a couple of years off, you got to watch out. Them guys usually, because they sit back and watch, and they realize where they may have went wrong in some places. So I think whenever you hire one of those guys, I think, good things, are bound to happen for the Cowboys. And the Cowboys probably have the most talent in the NFL, and they were playing mediocre. They just couldn't finish games, really. That's what it was. And I think they had the most Pro Bowlers. They had like 15 Pro Bowlers and did not make the playoffs. That's unheard of. So I think Mike McCarthy was a great hire by Jerry Jones. And again, I'm not a Cowboy fan. I do not like the Dallas Cowboys, but that was a great hire, and we will see what Mike McCarthy does. And I think he's going to do great. I think the NFC East better be on notice. I think the whole NFC better be on notice, because the Cowboys, like I said, they had the most Pro Bowlers out of any other team. And very well could be, they're going to be favorites for the Super Bowl again next year. They were this year to get there. And I think they'll be one of the improved teams coming into next year. All right, next thing, we're going to stay on the NFL. Okay, so LSU, Clemson, national championship. LSU won the national championship. They had a host of guys, Booker McFarland, Ryan Clark, a bunch of former guys there. Odell Beckham, was at the game. And I guess after the game, Odell Beckham in the locker room slapped one of the police officers on the butt. And now there was an arrest warrant issued for him for simple assault. Now, I can't begin to tell you how stupid this is on so many levels, that there's an arrest warrant. And people are actually saying, people accuse Odell Beckham of being gay or whatever. If he is gay, that's his thing. Do your thing, right? But in a locker room, you get slapped on the butt. You know what I'm saying? All the time. So now, this police officer, to me, this is stupid on so many levels to charge an assault on the guy. This is stupid. Don't be in the locker room they were celebrating. I'm sure they were feeling good or whatever. Odell Beckham happy for his school, just like I went to NC State. So if NC State wins or is in a national championship, you better believe I'm going to call them and be like, yo, let me get a couple tickets to the game or whatever. And if they win, I'm going to want to be in the locker room celebrating with the kids too. You know what I'm saying? So previously, before the game, Odell Beckham had bought the guys some gifts for getting to the national championship. People don't cover that, but he did. But I just think it's stupid on so many levels. There are so many other things that, now if he had punched the officer, okay, I'm not feeling that one. You know what I'm saying? I'm not with that at all. That's assault, battery, whatever you want to call it. But just slapping the guy on the butt, I didn't see the video of it. I saw the video of it, but it was like I couldn't hear what was being said. I know something happened where the officer walked over to one of the kids, and then Odell Beckham came up behind him, and one of the kids had showed him a drink or something. He wanted to see if he was drinking something. I'm assuming from the video, it looked like he was trying to see if the kid was drinking something, like alcohol or maybe something like that. But the kid showed him what he was drinking, and he put it back. Then Odell Beckham came up, slapped him on his butt. Then he started clapping and saying something to the officer, and then the video cut off that I saw. But I just think this is stupid on so many levels. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to be in a locker room looking for something to charge somebody with, you don't need to be in the locker room. That's how I feel about it. And people have been actually mad at Odell Beckham. And I'm a Giants fan. I'm an Odell Beckham fan. But if he's wrong, he's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was wrong for how he attacked Josh Norman during that game. He was dead wrong. He could have killed that guy. When he hit him with the crown of the helmet, he should have been thrown out of the game. He should have been thrown out of the game. I was not with him then. I was like, yo, man, look, he could have hurt Josh Norman. Yo, you got to get him out of the game. Or the coach should have took him out. Something should have happened to him that game. But this particular incident here is stupid on so many levels for an officer to want to press charges against him, Why not say something to him there? If you got a problem with it, you know what I'm saying? Be like, yo, don't do that. Young fella, don't do that to me. Don't touch me. Address it there instead of waiting. It's just looking like to me that this officer wants to get paid. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know how much he'll be able to get paid, but it looks like he wants to get paid. All right, next thing, last thing I'm gonna talk about, not really a sad thing, but just a thing where, people need to understand. Luke Kuechly has announced his retirement from the Carolina Panthers. I think he's played 7 or 8 years with the Panthers. Has been a Pro Bowler, been a stud, been like has been one of the top tacklers in the league. But he's announced his retirement, and I don't blame him. If you know as an athlete when time is up, So I don't blame him, man. He wants to live, and like Marshawn Lynch came on. People laugh at Marshawn Lynch about what he came on and said because he was kind of talking in language that like slang. He's talking in slang, like basically telling people, football players, the young guys, hey, look, man, take care of your money, and when you get done, you can do the things you want to do. You know what I'm saying? So just take care of your money. It's what he was telling the young fellas. And, hats off to Luke Kuechly, man, for being such a stud and being a class act the entire time he was playing for the Panthers. I live in North Carolina. So he was a class act. Never heard anything bad about him. But, guys got to live. I can remember when I knew it was time. It was time, and when I walked away, I was happy. It was I had a deal to go overseas, but it was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. And I get it. I get it. So, hey, good luck to Luke Kuechly. I'm sure he could be an announcer. He could be in the front office. He can do something. And I'm all for, like, me. I'm always, anybody who watches this know me. I'm always for players getting them jobs. I'm tired of these Wall Street cats getting the jobs and evaluating talent. And a player, not every player is built for it, though, but players should get first dibs, first opportunity. Former players should get the first dibs, first opportunity to become scouts and to become coaches and even work in the front office. You know what I'm saying? So, hats off to Luke Kuechly. Good luck in your next venture. But that's it from me. I'm gonna try to do one more than once a week, but it's been busy coaching and just trying to get a plan together for my kids, man. Because I've enjoyed this season with these kids, man. I'm telling you, they've been therapy for me, to be honest with you. And I got to make sure I tell them that at the end of the year. I can't forget to tell them that because I'm so forgetful, man. Getting old is a mother, You know what I'm saying? All right, well, it's your man signing off. Now, I didn't do a Dan Le Batard portion. I don't even need to, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to waste time on that clown anymore. All right? So signing off is your man, the Happy Hatter, a.k.a. Gypsy Hustle, a.k.a. Mr. Make You Smile, right? If you don't smile, there's something wrong with you, all right? A.k.a. B.K.A. your man, Chucky B, signing off. Hey, have a great weekend. Love y'all. Peace.